Hello, class. This is section 8.3. That's chapter 8, section 3 on Judaism over the centuries. We have three main ideas for this section. Number one, revolt, defeat, and migration led to great changes in Jewish culture. Number two, because Jews settled in different parts of the world, two cultural traditions formed. And three, Jewish traditions and holy days celebrate their history and religion. All right, so first, it's important to know that many groups, throughout Jewish history came in and conquered and mistreated the Jewish people, including groups like the Babylonians. But one group in particular that was very harsh on the Jews were the Romans. So the Romans ruled over Jews, but zealots fought back. Zealots are they were radical Jews who supported rebellion against the Romans. They fought against the Romans kind of no matter what, because the Romans told them, like the Roman emperor said, you have to worship me like a god, but the Jews refused to do that. They said they had their own God and they would bow to no god but their own. In AD 66, so that's just year 66 after the year zero, zealots rebelled but lost, right? And it was horrible for them because in Jerusalem, right, their city, it was ransacked and their temple was destroyed. So here you have a couple images of that. You can see on the left a couple different depictions of that, of the war and the fighting and the temple being destroyed. Again, the term zealots means radical Jews who supported rebellion against the Romans. After the fighting between the Romans and the Jews, Romans continued to kill and enslave them, the Jews. So you see that in the bottom left here. Slaves. Many Jews moved away, but the fight in Jerusalem continued. So some Jews moved out of Jerusalem. As you can see here in the top left, the diaspora is the scattering of the Jews outside of this area. So you can see they moved out of Jerusalem, east into Asia, north into the Asia Minor and Turkey, and west into different parts of Europe. But some Jews remained in Jerusalem, and their fighting continued. As Judaism spread around the world, as you can see in this map, rabbis and synagogues appeared. So remember, synagogues are Jewish places of worship, right? And a rabbi is a Jewish religious teacher and leader. So up the top right, looks like an old painting of some rabbis. And this picture on the bottom, sort of right, is a picture of a synagogue. But as Judaism spread around the world, rabbis and synagogues appeared. Jews moved around, right, from Jerusalem, but they did share, the most basic beliefs, right? Generally speaking, they were all Jewish and read the same books and believed in the same books and had the same central beliefs. This is the Star of David. But different Jews developed their own languages, rituals, and cultures depending on where they moved. So the first group that moved kind of into Eastern Europe were Ashkenazi Jews. Okay, and they moved into Eastern Europe, countries like Poland and that sort of region, and they lived in isolation from others. Kind of like this little silly picture on the bottom left shows living apart from other groups. So if you're living on your own in isolation, you're going to develop a very specific kind of culture, a very specific kind of lifestyle, and you're going to be different than other people, right? So that happened, and this map on the right shows a lot of these countries, right, in Eastern Europe, where this was, and then they developed their own writing and language called Yiddish, right? And this is Ashkenazi Jews. And there's some symbols here in the top left. The other main Jewish um, culture that developed was Sephardic Jews. And so Sephardic Jews, they were those that moved into the Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal and Spain. You can see here in the map on the right. And they kind of mixed with the people there, right? So they weren't isolated. They weren't on their own. They just kind of moved into different communities that are already existing in Portugal and Spain. And so they borrowed and mixed with other cultures. And they also kind of developed their own kind of language, but it was a mixture of Spanish and Portuguese and their own language. So this is called Ladino. So that's this one on the bottom left. I suppose the writing of some of it. It looks very similar to Spanish from what I see, but there are some differences. All right, and next we have the traditions and holy days, starting with Hanukkah. So Hanukkah commemorates the Maccabee victory, and when you see Hanukkah, you'll often see the menorah, which is this 8-candle holder, and this the menorah commemorates the oil that lasted. It was supposed to last for one day, burn for 8 days. So that's what the menorah represents. Passover is a holiday in which Jews remember the Exodus, right? In the Exodus, it was Moses leading his people, the Hebrew slaves, out of Egypt, which this picture shows on the right, leading them through the Red Sea and away from the enslavement of the Egyptians. Bottom left and top left here shows some of the foods that would be eaten during Passover: Seder meals and matzah. Okay. And then the high holy days are the two most sacred days of Jewish religious observance, and these are Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. Okay, and see here on the left are some of the foods that are eaten on Rosh Hashanah. And Yom Kippur is a day when Jews ask for forgiveness from God, and it's the holiest day of the year, where you fast all day, meaning you don't eat all day. Okay, so it's a day of when Jews ask for forgiveness from God. That's Yom Kippur. All right, so the big idea for this section is that although they were forced out of Israel by the Romans, shared beliefs and customs helped Jews maintain their religion. All right, thank you.